Alright, we've got one package this week. Nice and simple compared to last week or another week. One of them. I'm just trying to find a way to get a good handle on this. Just reaching around the camera certain ways is awkward. Here we go. And on the top of the pile we have Mazinger Edition Z, The Impact, the Complete Series on Blu-ray, which I might have already gotten on DVD. I see audio's Japanese. There's a region A there. I didn't expect much different. This is, after all, a Eastern Star and discotheque release. And they go for simple and clean. Anyways, yeah, there's a sticker on the thing on the inside of the sleeve. And of course it didn't stay together, but whatever, it should be close enough. It's annoying. And we see a different cover on the inside, and I think this usually means the cover's reversible if you prefer that. We've got 2 discs with 1 billion episodes each. That's 13 episodes on the first, another 13 on the second. And I guess this doesn't say it's the SD version, but they don't generally go for super quality video, I guess. Anyways, next up we have the Law of Ueki Complete TV Series on Blu-ray. All 51 episodes in standard definition. Okay. Sounds about right, because I'm pretty sure Law of Ueki is around the era when upscaling is not as beneficial. We see an English dub. I see a region A. And that tells us there's an English dub. And I remember this being a fairly enjoyable series. I guess before we poke this out too much, we should have a little thing right here with the thing. I was just thinking the character designs on the next one look vaguely Yu Yu Hakusho-esque or something. Although I'm not sure if I'm just really seeing things. Anyways, part of the reason I delay that is because it's the same, which is okay. Oh, look, big artwork on the inside. I don't know, for some reason it felt like it was neat enough to just pull the sleeve out of it. There it is, the complete TV series on 1 disc. Standard definition, Blu-ray, you know, that's the Blu-ray release here. Babel 2, 1992 OVA series, which has come out on DVD a long time ago, and here we have it on Blu-ray. You know, they're going for that anime that they can get on the cheaper. I wonder where he hides that nearly limitless power. Okay, the same thing on mine. He hides it in the sticker. Anyways, we've got that, and then we've got another cover on the opening. That's a kind of neat black cat of some sort, maybe a black wolf, I don't know. Interesting, it's not a reversible thing, so just, you know, splattered with a bunch of different relevant artwork. Cool beans. Next up, we've got Wild 7 Another, Not to be confused with Wild Arms. I don't think this one is a franchise I am familiar with. I guess, did I check the audio on this? English audio, and I see a region A, whereas this is DVD, region 1. And it looks like this is Japanese with English subtitles only. Keeping it simple. Or complicated. Here I was feeling like that person. Oh, yeah, different thing on the inside. We've got 2 DVDs. Those people do not look very friendly. And not a reversible cover, which I kind of felt worth checking. Yeah, as you can see, it's the end of the month, so there's a lot of discotheque releases. Bananya, the kitty who lives in a banana. Except I think I commented that there seems to be more than one kitty living in a banana, so this appealing kitty will drive you bananas. Oh, look, there's English audio. I'm trying to remember if a Blu-ray version of this is in the piles of stuff back there, but I can't remember. Important thing, this is here, and I not throw the plastic away because discotheque. And of course, part of the sticker did not come off. You can see it broke off there, and it's right there, and it's really annoying. Oh god, this stupid piece of crap. Oh, I just want to stick it to the other sticker so that this stuff can be thrown away very easily afterwards. I mean, I'm just tossing this stuff on the ground, so I need plans. Yeah, I seem to remember this. There's a lot of kitties and bananas. The tagline is a lie. Or is that the subtitle? I don't know. Doesn't matter anymore. There's that. And I guess before we go this, let's go this one. Welcome to Pia Carrot 2DX. I think Pia Carrot, I don't have that yet, and this is Sentai Filmworks. And maybe not everything ships. I should double check stuff. This is Sentai, and this is DVD release. Maybe they released the first version a long time ago. It's in one of these piles next to me. Okay. Well, let's just take a peek on the inside. We have girl and we have girl. I think same girl. I don't know. That red brown hair. Anyways, this was a slightly bigger box. Figured I'd do this one last. This is the Star Blazers $21.99. US release and not the imported one that I had before. I think they were officially imported and subtitled and all that. But this one includes a dub, so of course I would get it. One year, one ship, one hope. I think I already watched One Piece. Let's look at the back real quick. I see a region A, I see English and Japanese. You got a nice shiny. It's interesting how they did that effect. Or that they did that effect. Either or. Doesn't really matter. Here's the thing containing the disc on the inside. Okay. It just says stuff. That's a disc 1 of some sort with 7 episodes. These are the DVDs first. This one's a little brighter, so maybe I can find, because I see a 2 there. I see part 1. I see an A there. A through 13. 1 through 7 DVD. A through 13 DVD. So does this say Blu-ray somewhere just underneath? I guess this feels like a Blu-ray. Interesting. So apparently these are the Blu-rays and these are the DVDs. Feels like a DVD. They're both silverish on the back, but this it feels flatter on the side. Oh look, part of shipping background. Alright, well let's take a look at more stuff. We have an art book. You know, with some character profile stuff. And then we've got this thing, which is apparently limited edition stuff. I mean, this is a part 1, so there's going to be more of it. Oh, these look like postcards. Interesting. No comment because I don't know what any of these characters are or do. They just look very spacey. Not like Kevin Spacey and not like spaced out, but just like characters who would be in space. And I'm sure you knew exactly what I said, but I'm being uselessly pedantic. And let's sneak this in here so that we have that. And that's this week's anime DVD collection update. So pretty much the only thing I watched was Twin Star Exorcists, and I'm a little divided at the moment. There's a bit of a personal preference issue going on where I really don't like her. She's kind of bleh. And it doesn't help that this series, a lot of characters in the series are kind of worshipping her superior skills, I guess. But she's kind of shitty to other people. And her little fox should probably just be punched to death or something, because they are irritable. Now, it's kind of interesting because I noted to a friend that the main character, the guy, I guess, if he's the main character, maybe they're supposed to both be, but she's a really bad main character if they did that. But he could actually be considered an asshole, an unlikable asshole to some people, because they're both sort of supposed to be set up in a similar way where they had a tragic thing happen to them in the past, and they've got motivations that make them a little abrasive. And the reason him I'm kind of okay with is because he's a very distancing himself away from other people sort of thing. So he puts up obvious, oh, I don't want to do this and that, and you know, a false show of bravado, but people kind of belittle him for some of it sort of person. And it's like, you can kind of understand where he's at, and you can feel his false barriers. Whereas when she's introduced, she's hungry. He offers to let her spend a little bit of money, of his money, to buy something as a small snack, and she just spends it all, and she never forgives him for it. She never pays attention to him. And then when the first incident of the episode happens, she admits to us, the audience, that he was really powerful, and she was in a position where she was compromised and risking being killed, but then she just after he punches it, and I don't want to say he rescues her per se, even though I guess maybe he kind of did. The problem is she's just kind of whatever. No, I had things handled. I'm like, no, she's mean, and the anime sort of addresses it kind of, but not really. And I don't think I want to go into more detail about that, because that was a good reveal that, you know, was a good complicated story thing. I guess the problem is she's kind of got a Black Panther sort of approach where she started off on the wrong foot. You know, like in Marvel Cinematic Universe, Black Panther, he has his own movie now, but in the movie he first showed up in, he was like, oh, I don't have all the facts, I'm just going to be angry and try to kill this one person without, you know, any sense of making sure it is the right person. He's just, I'd like to say blinded by rage, but honestly, it wasn't really blinded by rage, it was blinded by being a horrible person. And that basically means he starts off the Black Panther movie where, even though he kind of, I say kind of, redeems himself in Civil War, he's going into Black Panther. I, as an audience member, was like, I want to watch this movie just to see if they do anything good with it. And other complaints about the movie aside, Black Panther starts off with, yeah, I don't respect this guy. He was a mindless asshole. I mean, I've had a chance to talk to somebody recently, and I kind of remembered, oh yeah, I kind of really hated King from Seven Deadly Sins for similar reasons. Just, fuck you, you idiots. You're more interested in satisfying your bloodlust than finding out what really happened. And she's not that bad, but she kind of starts off on oh, she's a fucking piece of shit to other people. I already hate her. She lets her being worshipped for her abilities go to her head in a way. Not that she's like, oh yes, I'm Snooty's superior. She just tunes out the world and just be a dick to other people. And it's not a very strong thing, but it's one of those things where, because after that the relationship dynamic between the two characters is kind of that stereotypically uselessly judgmental female character, I don't care. Their character designs are cool, but you know, there's that personal problem. And then for some reason the combat wasn't exactly clicking. Something about, maybe it didn't feel like a good feeling for the Force was there. Like sometimes it seemed like there were hints of stuff, and other people may feel differently. Like for them it may be, oh no, the combat is perfectly fine, but it was on this weird line where it wasn't drawing me in, and more like kind of this slow development interested me. But this is only part one, there's more to the series, so it can develop a lot more beyond that. And the takeaway from this isn't that, oh, it's a so-so anime. It's more like there's a lot of elements in there that make for a really good show, but for some reason they didn't settle with me correctly. Yeah, I don't know. It's especially interesting because, on the other hand, well, no, I don't think it's an interesting coincidence, but I was going to say, the only other thing I really spent my free time doing is playing Octopath Traveler. And saying that I was enjoying that is probably a stupid thing, because I think it's a still well-regarded game. My progress is pretty absurd in that I've put 60 hours into the game, and I've only completed the first story for all 8 characters. I spent the last 20 gameplay hours just developing my party, because there was all these dynamic pieces. If you've gotten 8 characters, maybe you kind of understand development-wise what all you have access to and why you'd be interested in some of it. And I'm still
learning some mechanics. Like, based on the way it's showing stats, I think a character's stats may actually be different depending on which equipped weapon you currently have active. So, for example, my I do have the Scholar in what is probably my permanent party. He gets the most elemental attack out of his staff, and by a long shot now, because of a special staff that I bought from somebody. I just don't have any money left. I had like 300,000. I still hadn't started any story 2s, and it's all gone. But he, I think he gets plus 300 to his elemental attack, but doesn't show it there constantly. It only shows it when I highlight that weapon versus other weapons, which leads me to believe that if I cast a spell with that one being held in combat, it actually applies the damage, which would be weird. Maybe it depends on... Maybe that's just for attacking stats? Because I'm trying to think of other things that might play with... Because I know there's some weapons that play with accuracy and some that play with critical, and those might not be permanent. Like they only apply to that weapon, which would make some sort of sense. And so the same sort of thing would happen for, oh yes, you got all these enchanted weapons, and it basically means, oh, well, buying all those weapons didn't actually help increase his elemental attack more than just having the one super awesome thing. So maybe it makes sense for a character to have a weapon that's specifically for, oh, I'm casting a spell. Goodbye, bad guys. Versus, this is my axe. It wants to say hi. But I don't know, because there's also the issue where, I don't know, the party dynamics are interesting for what I've designed, and I'm on the verge of, I've pretty much constructed what I want to, so now I'm going to try and start taking on characters' story level 2s, and from what I've heard, I mean, the story 1s are very generic. Oh, this is the start of an adventure sort of thing. And the merchant's probably, I've heard some people saying that the merchant is probably the best starter just thematically because everybody else has a specific goal, whereas she just has I'm going on an adventure generic goal. Which basically means that, everybody else is just really distracted from their stories, but if the merchant's leading the way, then it's just like, sorry, y'all accepted help from the wrong people. They're just going to spend most of their life training off of creatures in the desert area because they give a good amount of skill points. And can be knocked out really easily with magic, and I got this skill point juggling stuff that allows me to just keep using it willy-nilly. Anyways, yeah, my party focus has been creating an autonomous party that does not require inns or items. Those are some of my least favorite things to go after, I guess. It's like, oh no, if I have to use items, then I have to make sure I have enough of everything in stock, and I don't like thinking about that. I don't like planning like that, and so, yeah, I don't have to do that. In theory, you could get around it by like having thieves steal the items that you're going to use, but I don't even want to do that, so that's why I've designed the party the way I have. And it's coming out pretty good in that regard. I just have to figure out how to get that Scholar really working, because he's more able to autonomously use his spells whenever I want to. But I guess I'm just reaching that point where there are some that he can just use no matter what because of stuff. I guess I don't want to say too much more because people might be playing and enjoying it, or not playing it or wanting to play it or whatever. But I've been enjoying it, and yeah, again, from what I've heard, once you get past level 2 versions of stories, apparently some of the stories get really compelling. And I don't know yet. I'm just taking my time. And am I doing anything else? I mean, I've had a couple weeks where I had my own time to myself, which is good for the Octopath Traveler stuff. I haven't watched much else. I did watch the last two episodes of Alien 9, which is, not all of Alien 9, but all that was implemented in anime form. And, it's really good to just kind of get an exploration, a feeling for what it does, because there's a lot of little neat things about that one. I think I talked about that last week. So, we were talking about Rumiko Takahashi stuff, and how one problem is she kind of has this tendency to create neat characters and scenarios, but then they just go on forever repetitively or something like that. So we're going to watch Rumiko Takahashi Anthology. It's going to be a rewatch for me, but I don't remember it too well. Which means, it'll be good to revisit, and it'll be interesting to see how he appreciates them. But I think that's mostly everything. As you can see, these piles are piling. They're doing what they're named after all. So, I really ought to do that. I ought to do a lot of stuff. But, yeah. Y'all, have a nice week.